at the time. So I bought this little 8-track to converter, and you know, I play the cassettes forward, neither here nor there. But he took it out and he saw what my selection music was, and he asked me about it one time. I remember specifically, it was at dinner, and he said, "Is that your tape that you have in the car?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I was listening to it. That's pretty deep stuff there." It was the Moody Blues.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think he was relieved that I wasn't listening to something more trashy or violent or something.
Of course.
But yeah, he was like, "That's pretty good stuff."
Anything that makes you think.
Yeah, you can listen to anything you want.
That's the problem today with the video games. It doesn't make you think.
Depends on the video game. Yeah.
I mean, if it's just, you know, chasing down bad guys or shooting up aliens.
Yeah, I'm no good at those Twitch games, the ones with the Twitch reflexes, because my reflexes aren't that good. So when they play Call of Duty, there's a lot of tactical, strategy, there's tactics and stuff when they play squad-based games. But I can't maneuver the buttons. So I'm more like a battlefield commander. Like if you want to, replay the Battle of Gettysburg and play as Lee and try to win, I like that kind of stuff. You know.
Well, he could have won if he'd waited.
Oh, he could have won several times.
If he didn't attack on the third day, because the Unions had met with Meade, I guess it was. All the generals had said, if they don't attack by 3 o'clock, we're going to attack.
Yeah.
So that would have meant the Union walking across that big field, which was crazy.
Nobody knew that though.
No, of course not.
There were 3 points in that battle that the Confederates gained.
How'd they get across the field?
They don't go across the field. They attack the flank. So like on the second day, when Oates comes up the hill and he almost overwhelms Chamberlain.
On the right, on Union right.
Little Round Top.
Little Round Top, yeah.
They could have occupied Big Round Top, and they would have been able to enfilade. If they got some cannon up there, they would have enfiladed the entire Union line.
So you'd be looking down the line, sure.
You guys talking about Gettysburg?
Yeah. Do you go?
You have a lot of voice.
You have been there?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great battlefield. I love it.
Early 75.
Yeah?
That was after January 1st.
Say again?
After January 1st, 1975. So I was there.
Oh, that's when you went there?
Yeah.
Man, I was there on
wintertime.
The anniversary of the battles, on July 2nd. Hot as could be. You can't imagine what those guys were wearing. They couldn't have been in uniform. They couldn't have been. Those wool coats, no way. They had to have stripped down into like their shirt sleeves. I mean, it's just impossible.
Going in combat with
you couldn't
bare chest.
Couldn't fight. Well, no, but like their shirts underneath their uniforms, because man, it was like 96 degrees and humid.
There's no shade around there either. It's all sun, except for the woods.
That's crazy.
When I first, they had that big tower there still.
The Eisenhower Towers. They had them all. Oh, they had that one big one, yeah. Yeah, Eisenhower, President Eisenhower owned a lot of the land that was donated to the battlefield.
We saw the cyclogram, we saw the wax museum, which I understand is not there anymore.
No, I don't think I think the cyclorama was preserved, but I don't know if it's on display or if it's just being housed somewhere to be restored. I'm not 100% sure about that. I haven't been back in years.
Yeah, my war game is an entirely different sphere.
What do you do?
I do naval games. You ever heard of the Jutland game out of Long Hill?
Yeah, I sure have. Those were intense.
Right over there.
Did you used to go to Legions?
Yes, I did.
Was that open? That's not open anymore.
Is that a question or a fact?
I'm asking.
I haven't been there since, well, I was there briefly, 21.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on there now.
Yeah. I know I was there once. My one friend wanted to play Warhammer 4000, and it was, or 40K or whatever they call it. And they had all those tables set up. And most of it was for naval battles. It seemed like predominantly. It was pretty neat.
That's what I used to do there.
That's so cool.
Which I still do.
Yeah, those are intense.
Yeah. Well, if you want to take a look, it's back there.
Thanks. I wouldn't mind.
Oh, by the way, one of you guys have an idea if Lee could have won the battle or not?
I'm pretty
I
sure
mean,
he could have.
he's more pro than I am. He knows a lot more.
I'm pretty sure he could have. Well, on the first day, if Heth comes up with his troops and organizes an attack against the dismounted cavalry Buford had, I mean, that should have been done. That was botched. And then Early, who normally would have been Jackson's corps, right? Jubal Early is in command of the corps. Jackson would have brought him.
I saw the movie. It came out in 1993.
Oh, you're talking about the Ted Turner thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good, except for the beards.
Saw the way out. I saw that. Except for what?
The beards were unconvincing. But the battle, it was based on the book The Killer Angels,
Yes.
which was well researched.
I saw that in the theaters out in Monroeville, which aren't there anymore.
It's worth, I like it. It's worth watching.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing like Shelby Foote's account of it. Just get the second volume of his trilogy and read that account of Gettysburg. You'll be an expert. He had Guggenheim fellowships to research each one of those.
He was a true historian.
Unbelievable historian, and he was a novelist to start. So when you read his history, it's entertaining.
He knows how to write.
Yeah, he writes it from a personal level. Because a lot of historians are really dry. Really dry.
So,
What's your name?
Lee.
Patrick.
L-E-E.
Nice to meet you.
Same as Civil War General.
That's easy to remember.
No, I'm wrong. Good to see you.
Yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of World War I, World War II. One of my favorite battles study is one about the Bismarck breakout.
Which is it?
The Bismarck breakout in North Atlantic,
Bismarck?
May 23rd, 27th. All the way to about, I'll tell you.
Is that mosquito bombers?
No, the swordfish.
Swordfish.
But what really did her in was that hit by the Prince of Wales. I'm pretty sure they're like one of the boiler
Disabled. She was disabled, right?
Yeah, by the Prince of Wales 14. She had to make for
Swordfish was, if I recall, was a biplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In York Royal.
Yeah. Delivered torpedoes, huh?
Incredible.
Tell you have a respect for the men who served in these great ships.
Oh,
You know that you could be sunk.
That's what they said, and they all got sunk.
Well, you go like to World War I, but if you hit it in the magazines, that's it.
Billy Mitchell was right.
Not really.
Okay.
No.
Right about what?
Those
You probably said a lot of stuff.
Those aircraft carriers that really did it, not level bombers. That's nice.
Do you think it's true that the reason they used aircraft carriers in the Pacific in World War II is because that's what they had left, right? But people were still thinking that the capital ship was the battleship.
Yeah.
But it was just out of necessity, the Americans just said, well, we don't have any, so let's use our aircraft carriers.
The battle wagon admirals were in charge up until then. Weymouth, Pye, and Husband Kimmel and Stark.
Yeah, Kimmel.
Kimmel was a battleship guy. That's like the Air Force. When I went in the Air Force, we were retired. I went in '65. SAC ruled in Curtis LeMay.
I have a book called Battleship Sail by sailors served on the Battle Force flagship USS California. Said none of them, they never even heard of Weymouth. They're called carriers, bird farms.
They call them what?
Bird farms.
That's funny.
And well, they didn't laugh from Japanese. So those guys basically, they have Halsey and Nimitz take over.
You think the Japanese knew they were going to lose? It was a matter of time.
Yamamoto told
Yamamoto did, yeah.
But do you think the high command would believe that? Do you think they would
No.
arrogant enough to think
No,
that
they
they were
didn't
going
really
to
believe
outlast us.
Yamamoto.
We just didn't have the will to stay in that.
Well, didn't Yamamoto live in the United States, right?
He studied here.
He studied here, that's
Harvard,
right.
he toured the United
And he's the one that
States.
said if we don't wipe them out entirely,
Wake
we're
the
going to
sleeping
lose.
giant.
He said, I can guarantee success for 6 months. After that, I can't guarantee anything.
6 months is not much.
Yeah, that's what he told the high command.
That's pretty much true of any war, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can make the plans. Think of World War One, the von Schlieffen.
Yeah.
I mean, you can plan it, but they don't execute it properly. They don't surround Paris. They didn't. You know, look, the last, what did they say? The last grenadier's sleeve should touch the chin.
Well, another thing was the Kaiser built the high seas fleet, and in the end, he didn't want to use it. They didn't know.
You know, there's this thing with the Germans and the British. The Germans always thought that the British were natural allies, and they never believed that they would enter the war against them. And especially in the Second World War, you had evidence that that could happen, but the generals, you know, they just couldn't figure it out.
What the Kaiser interpreters didn't understand was the British absolute sea power's life and death.
Of course.
That
You're basically,
That's their lifeblood.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
basically threatening their existence.
So when the Continental Empire, Germany starts to build a large navy,
Sure.
British want to know what for.
Exactly.
And then Fisher came up with the dreadnought. Although he was more interested in the battle cruiser.
Well, more versatility probably.
No, he said speed is armor, but he was wrong about that. Although it was really the way they handled their ammunition. If I was to tell you that the British battle cruiser, turret cruiser, leave the turret doors wide open, they leave a trail of powder inside the turret.
Oh, my.
Like
Doesn't
this,
sound safe.
yeah, they speed up the rate of fire. That's why it made them so catastrophically vulnerable. I'll leave you guys to your game for a minute.
Yeah, nice chatting with you.
You know,
Yeah, I'll be over,
Yeah.
Lee. I want to
We
check
both
that
like
out.
history, so we like
Yeah.
learning about that stuff.
Absolutely.
You know what you're talking about.
I love talking about history. Especially mother was in tears when she found out on Wednesday. I said, well, first I recognized that's where I get my catastrophizing from. Secondly, I said, Mom, this is open heart surgery. I said, this is like a hangnail. I said, I'm exaggerating, but this is not like open heart surgery was in the 70s. Okay, this is like something that people do. I've known people that had 4 blockages and they were fine afterwards. I said, let's go shopping.
Yeah.
So I took her out shopping and distracted her. And,
well, when you think about it.
Well, so here's the thing. This is good news because she didn't have a heart attack. She felt the chest pain. She called the paramedics. They took her to the hospital. They scheduled the surgery for 2 days later, or 3 days later.
She would have never got that going into the doctor's office.
Yeah, and not only that, but like, if it were an absolute perilous emergency, they would have operated then, not waited 2 days. So
right.
She's fine.
Right.
They have a scheduled surgery. So these are all good things. But I didn't know what was going to happen. But now, because of what you guys have taught me, I know how to like say, well, I don't know. We'll deal with it when it comes.
The other thing I thought when I took my dog up, my dog had cancer. He had a cancer operation.
I remember.
I turned it over to the specialists, the doctors, and I'm at breakfast with my sponsor, and I said, Tom, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. They're up there operating on him. So I might as well think about success.
You moved here? Did you move?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, sometimes I think people think I'm a Pollyanna because I accentuate positivity and negativity, but I really think it works. It works for me.
It
works
absolutely
for me.
does.
Now I still have the stoic side, which is like, okay, be prepared for anything, but that doesn't mean I have to live in the absolute worst case scenario before it happens.
Well, here's the thing too. No matter what happens, and Jackie's death is one good example.
Sure.
No matter what happens, there's always the best thing to do. There's always the best course of action. I don't care what you're faced with. There's still a best course of action.
That's a good point. I think that's why, I think that's the value of certain rituals too. When we have like funerary services, we have weddings, we have there's certain ceremonies that take us through moments of life that could be overwhelmingly stressful. But if you just do what the next thing is expected, then you're fine, right? Yeah. So when you're getting married, okay, what are we gonna do? Okay, we're gonna walk down the aisle. Okay, great. Once we get down there, what are we gonna do? Okay, we're gonna stand and face each other. They're gonna give us instructions. Everything's gonna be fine. So when you're at those moments of high tension,
just do the next thing.
There's a default course of action.
Yeah. There's a great line in the movie Bridge of Spies. Rudolph Abel exchanged for Gary Powers. Tom Hanks is in it. And the Russian, and Rudolph, the guy that plays Rudolph Abel, says, if I walk across the bridge and they hug me, you'll know I'm a dead man. And Hanks says, you don't seem too worried. And Rudolph Abel, with a line he says throughout the movie, says,
would it help?
Would it help?
Would it help? I love that. I said that to some coworkers one time. We just got inundated. I think it was a special event, like a music festival or something like that. They were just customers. And we were pouring drinks. And the one girl, Sarah, kind of, I don't know. I liked helping her. Like, she was young. She was much younger than me. I think I trained her a little bit on how to be a service employee. And I said, there's 2 ways we can do this. We can do this like Daffy Duck, okay? We can do it like Daffy Duck, which is fun, and that's fun. Or we can do this like as calmly as possible, as efficiently as possible. But so whichever you want to do, it's fine.
Daffy Duck School Management.
We can do the Daffy Duck way. That's fun, and we might get tips. We're gonna get sympathy tips. If we do this in a calm, collected way, we're gonna get people go, wow, you got this under control, don't you? I'm like, Yes, we do. Even though we don't, we look like we have it under control, right? Fake it till you make it, kind of thing. I like Daffy Duck.
The whole game is funny.
I like what he says. You're despicable.
Yeah. You could probably.
Daffy Duck School of Management. I'm gonna write that down. I don't like this. Wow. That's something else. That's something else. Look at this ring. What can I do to disrupt that? Let's develop the book. Okay. You have a strategy. Take that. Take that with the rook. I don't see any problem with that.
There's the problem.
Oh, you take my queen. I didn't see that. I should have saw that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because I was going to take your knight. All right.
So plan goals. Which of the hypothetical plans was it? Which of those was that? I know they made games for most of those. What's that? Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I think the price is on each of the games.
Sorry?
I think they do, and I think the price is on each of the games.
Oh, so if there's a price on a game, it's for sale, is that what you're saying?
I think so.
These are the rental games here.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah. The way that he does it is if you like any of the games, feel free to rent them. I believe it's a tenth of the cost. Take them for a day or two, plan to bring them back. If you like the game, you'll deduct the price on the rental from the real game.
Okay.
I've seen game stores do that.
That's
I think that's a great idea.
That's pretty cool.
That's how it goes. Yep.
Are there used games for sale? Straight up? Or no?
I don't think he tends to keep a lot. If he does, you may want to ask Phil Zone. I know he was there for a while, but I think he might have scaled back on them.
Walk around a little bit.
Fork. Drive a fork. I have a bunch of games. I would love to sell them. thought about bringing him here and donating. There's a neighborhood yard sale that Bellevue does once a year, and it's coming up in 3 weeks. And it'll be the day after we get over the observatory. And I realized that even if I filled my entire front porch and everybody bought everything on our front porch, I'd still have more stuff that I want to get rid of.
Well, it's a start. You
There's
can do it all at once.
so much stuff. I've lived in that house for 22 years. A lot of stuff. 21 years. Rook for rook. Try. I think I got Jack Queen for it.
Mm-hmm. You did. Son of a gun.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah. Let's play.
I didn't see it until just that moment.
Well, it wasn't there until I moved my pawn.
Oh, okay.
I went up to support him and missed
the
that
center
completely.
pawn. Don't give up.
Well, but fast forward the first 10 minutes, because they're just like reciting each other's CDs and blah blah blah. But get into it. Huh?
Big one.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I would. Let's see. This is incredibly stupid or not. I did not think of that. Yeah. Damn it.
You guys remember these at all?
What's that?
How much I'm going to fold out the Avalon Hill games?
No, I don't remember that. Yeah, I never actually played an Englund game.
Like I said, I have mine back there.
Yeah, I'll come over and check that out after we.
$7. Think about that. That was a lot of money back then.
Was that 1974?
No, it's 1967.
67.
All this thing cost $7.
Well, there's a lot of pieces in there,
Yeah.
so it makes sense that would be.
That's equivalent to $35 today.
Is that what it is? 35? Oh, that's not bad.
No, back then it was 7.
730 is 35 now. Yeah,
Probably
I mean,
equivalent.
board games
50
cost.
years later.
Yeah, I mean, board games cost that much, sure. So actually, there was one guy here 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on Tuesday night. He had this Kickstarter, $300 he paid for it. It was beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it was really rules heavy, like really complicated.
$5, $6, $7 these were.
All right, so I'm in desperation mode, so I'm gonna go check and check. listen to Steely Dan for a while.
Morning.
Time to think about this.